I appreciate this so much.
Oh my
big fan.
gosh.
We'll obviously talk about that, but first I got to ask, what do you think of this suit?
I'm obsessed with the suit.
Okay, I knew you would be.
Yeah,
I knew you would be.
I'm kind of mad at the fact that I'm not wearing a matching suit with you.
And this obviously does not have any Ahsoka colors, but I did have the orange on the watch, so I thought that was good.
I see some hidden Team Tano right there.
I'm just saying, represent.
Thank you.
So it seems like in the last 5-10 years, we've really been seeing more and more of these type of cons, these more and more interactions that you're able to have with fans. You probably get this question all the time, but what is that like for you? Different cities, different people, but always interacting with fans.
I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here at GalaxyCon and then have the opportunity to travel the world and go to multiple conventions. People ask me all the time, what's my favorite part about being the voice of Ahsoka Tano? And the answer to me is easy, it's the fans. Star Wars fans have changed my life. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I understand what Star Wars means to people because it means that much to me too. But Star Wars fans from day one, from when I became the voice of Ahsoka back in 2008, they wrapped their arms around me and they said, welcome to the universe. And, you know, I'm forever grateful. It's an honor and a privilege to be the voice of Ahsoka, and it's one that I strive day in and day out to live up to. And I do my best to be a real life version of Ahsoka Tano and try to, you know, spread the force, be a force for good for fans all around the world.
You talk about being little and being a Star Wars fan, but interesting, you were not, to my understanding, you were not a typical child in the sense that you wanted to be a Jedi or even Princess Leia. You were into the droids. You were into R2, from what I've understood.
Yes, so my earliest memory of Star Wars was actually on VHS. So I was born in 1981. So I remember watching A New Hope in my family room at home on VHS, and I just fell in love with R2-D2. And, you know, to my mom's chagrin, we had orange shag carpet in our living room.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so it kind of looked
nice.
like the desert of Tatooine. And so I would pretend to be R2-D2 rolling around the desert of Tatooine in our living room.
Did your mom ever get upset with that? I'm sure a lot of furniture was displaced.
Oh, goodness.
When you're doing that.
Well, you know, I guess she wasn't upset because she really encouraged imagination. My parents encouraged our love of sci-fi and fantasy, but she didn't love the orange shag carpet as much as I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. And you talk about the fans. You've seen it. You've lived through it. Nobody typically ruins Star Wars like Star Wars fans. Really diehards. Ahsoka at first was not widely popular until the end of the first, maybe the second season of Clone Wars. How do you keep with it? If you're hearing different things, because you know how this fan base is, we saw it in the prequels, we saw it in the sequels, how do you keep a level head and positivity?
Well, we actually recorded Star Wars: The Clone Wars for 2 years before it came out. So I was cast in 2006, and I recorded the first season and a half of Star Wars: The Clone Wars before fans even knew anything about it. So by the time Star Wars: The Clone Wars came out in theaters and then eventually on TV screens in 2008, I was so far ahead from what the fans were seeing. And I already knew how far she had come in just one season. And so when she wasn't universally loved, I just begged fans for their patience. And I said, look, no character is perfect from the beginning. And if they were perfect, it wouldn't really be an exciting character, because what journey would you actually go on with them? So I promised fans that they would like the direction that the character was going, and I just begged for their patience. And I said, look, be patient with her. Go on this journey with her. And I said, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And, you know, little did I know that we'd be here in 2022, and we just released new episodes of Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. You know, never imagined that we'd, be making more Star Wars all these years later. And, quite a journey it's been. And I think now she's universally loved by all Star Wars fans.
I was going to say, Ahsoka is one of, if not the biggest fan favorite when it comes to all through. I mean, from Clone Wars on, and I saw you in 2019 in Celebration in Chicago. I saw you in Lexington last year. You signed my lightsaber. Thank you very much.
I thought I recognized you. That's what it was.
But it's interesting just because you see just how much people adore Ahsoka, and you do embody that mentality and of just who she is, and I think people really resonate with that.
Well, one thing I learned really in the past couple years about Ahsoka is that her power is her kindness. I mean, she's one of the most skilled fighters. She's fierce with 2 lightsabers. It's amazing to see her just fly through the air and jump from battleship to battleship. But when you really look at what makes Ahsoka Tano so powerful, it's actually her kindness. And, growing up, I was raised to be kind. My parents taught me the number one rule in our house is the golden rule, to treat others as you would want to be treated. But people would always say, oh, you're too kind. You need to be tough. You need to be strong and fierce. And so I always associated kindness as a weakness. And, I was like, okay, well, I need to be tough. And I never associated the two together until really Ahsoka Tano. And I realized, no, it's actually incredibly powerful to be kind. It's harder to be kind than, honestly, to do the wrong thing and to not be kind. And so I try to live that. I think people, they see how good she is. They see that she represents the light side of the Force in so many ways. They see that she represents hope. And so in my own little way, when I try to be a real life version of Ahsoka Tano, I just try to be kind to everyone, because I think people look at Ahsoka and they strive to be like her. Not just me, but everyone does. She almost represents the good in everyone.
I guess my last question to you, and I'll let you get back to it. I've taken too much of your time already.
Oh no, this is great. I love geeking out about Star Wars with fellow fans.
The being here in Columbus, and you're here today, tomorrow, and Sunday, what can Columbus do to stand out to you? Because you do so many of these. How many do you do a year, by the way?
Oh goodness, I think this year I've done about 18 or 19 shows.
But you do, if you want to mention on your sleeves.
Yeah, this actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, being here in Columbus, I am just beyond excited, because what many people here in Columbus might not realize, Columbus is kind of like my home away from home. I've been working with Nationwide Children's Hospital and their On Our Sleeves movement for children's mental health since the beginning, since before its inception. I came to Nationwide Children's Hospital in 2018 to do a book signing. And I've always been an advocate for mental health and anti-bullying. And when I saw what they were doing with the Big Lots Behavioral Health Pavilion and On Our Sleeves, I said, you know what, I am on board. I want to be a champion for this cause and an advocate. And I said, you're not getting rid of me. So I've been coming to Columbus actually a couple times a year ever since. And, here at GalaxyCon this weekend, right next to where I'm signing, On Our Sleeves is going to have a booth. And there's going to be a lot of fun swag being given away, but most importantly, you can sign up to be a part of the movement. And really, that's just, they want you to go to onoursleeves.org and spread onoursleeves.org, because it's a free resource. Hence the word free resource for children's mental health, but also for the entire family, for all ages. And, our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And we have a stigma to break, because there's still so much sometimes shame and kind of people wanting to talk about our mental health. And we need to break that stigma. because we should be talking about mental health just as commonly as we talk about the common cold. And so what you all are doing here in Columbus, Ohio is groundbreaking. You're leaders in the children's mental health space, and I like try to scream that to the mountaintops. And so I would say to everyone here in Columbus, be proud that you have on our sleeves, be proud that you have Nationwide Children's Hospital paving the way. Be proud that you have Nationwide Children's Hospital paving the way for children's mental health, and just spread the word about onoursleeves.org. It doesn't cost you a thing. It just requires you to just tell people about it. So onoursleeves.org, spread the word, and help us break the stigma surrounding mental health.
It has been doing amazing things, especially the last few years that they've really kind of amped up those efforts, and spreading the word obviously is number one.
Absolutely.
And getting it in regular conversation for people to have and to understand and appreciate what it is. So we no doubt appreciate your efforts in doing that as well.
Thank you.
So my last question.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the Jedi.
Oh.
What's your favorite line?
Oh, you're coming in with the hard-hitting questions.
That's a lot of lines for Ahsoka. That's a lot of years, that's a lot of seasons, a lot of episodes. But if the first one that pops in your head, you may think about it later and say, no, it's actually this one. But what's the first one that comes to your head?
So I have an answer to this one. Now, most fans would expect me to say, I know Jedi.
Did anyone else get goosebumps? Anyone else? Anyone else? No, just me? Okay.
Yeah, so that's her most iconic.
Yeah.
But for me, my favorite is when she says, in the final season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, she says, in my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what. I guess it's just who I am. And I love that because that really comes to the essence of who she is, and her power and her kindness. And, talking about our efforts with On Our Sleeves and mental health, and just really coming off of the past couple years we've had. Everyone has been through it. There's no one that's untouched from the past couple years from COVID. We've all experienced a trauma in a way, or we know someone who's experienced a trauma. And the most important thing we could do right now is be kind and help people, no matter what. And so Ahsoka inspires me every day to do that.
I'll leave it at that. That was perfect. Unless you had something that you wanted to mention that maybe I didn't ask about.
No, I
It's
think
happened
that's
before.
I think that's great. I think that's great.
All right. You're good. I'm good.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, goodness.